While you're eating dinner tonight, somewhere, billionaires and tech giants are fighting for control over what you'll eat tomorrow. This is no ordinary competition. It's a $10 billion race, one that's reshaping farms, factories, and even the food on your plate. From Silicon Valley to Singapore, from Africa's drought-ridden fields to Tokyo's vertical towers, the world's most powerful minds are rewriting the recipe for survival. They call it food tech. A new frontier where artificial intelligence decides when to plant, what to grow, and even how much you'll pay. In this new economy, food isn't just nourishment, it's data. But beneath the promise of innovation lies a silent war, for power, for control, and for the future of humanity's oldest need, food. Who wins this race will decide more than the fate of farmers, it could define who controls life itself. So, who should control the world's food, humans, corporations, or algorithms? Behind every meal on your plate, there's a billion-dollar appetite, not for nutrition, but for domination. Food, the most basic human need, has quietly become the new oil. And just like oil once shaped empires, control over food will shape the future of power. Let's follow the money. The top 5 forces driving this revolution aren't farmers, they're corporate giants and investors. Nestle, building patents for synthetic proteins. Bayer, engineering seeds with AI to predict yield and climate resilience. Cargill, investing in robotic food logistics. Beyond Meat, perfecting lab-grown proteins to replace traditional farms. And Bill Gates? He's now the largest private farmland owner in America, holding over 270,000 acres. Coincidence? Maybe not. Venture capital is flooding into this space like never before. Startups promising AI-driven agriculture, climate-proof crops, and smart protein systems are raising billions. Silicon Valley sees farmland as the next frontier, where data, not dirt, determines profit. In 2024 alone, over $10 billion was invested globally in agritech. That includes AI irrigation systems that think for the farmer, drones mapping soil health, and genetic algorithms breeding the next super crop. But with all this innovation, comes one question. Is this true innovation, or just monopoly with better branding? The same corporations claiming to save the planet through sustainable food tech also own the patents that lock small farmers out. The same AI systems that promise efficiency also make the farmer dependent on subscription-based algorithms just to grow food. We've entered a future where the line between innovation and control is blurring. When AI decides what seeds to plant, what soil to use, and when to harvest, who really owns the harvest? The farmer, or the code? This is no longer about feeding people. It's about feeding profits. The world's most powerful players aren't just racing to grow food, they're racing to own it. The question is, how much control are we willing to hand over, for the promise of progress? Do you think food tech is saving the world, or selling it? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you're following the money trail like we are, hit that subscribe button, the race is just getting started. Once upon a time, food grew under the sun. Today, it grows under LED lights, guided by algorithms. Welcome to the rise of food tech, the next trillion-dollar revolution, and the battlefield of the $10 billion race to control what the world eats. Artificial intelligence is now the brain of modern farming. It predicts crop yields with pinpoint accuracy, monitors soil nutrients in real time, and even forecasts droughts before they happen. Some call it innovation, others call it dependence. From India to California, AI models are being used to prevent famine by forecasting shortages and optimizing distribution. But here's the twist, those same AI systems are owned by private companies. Meaning, whoever owns the data, owns the dinner table. On the ground, robotics are replacing human labor at breathtaking speed. Machines now plant, water, harvest, and package, all without rest. For corporations, it's efficiency. For rural workers, it's extinction. In Japan and the Netherlands, robot-driven farms are already operating 24/7, producing food faster than traditional farms ever could. Yet, the human touch that once defined farming is being replaced by precision steel and software. And then there's vertical farming, the skyscrapers of agriculture. Using hydroponics and controlled lighting, these farms grow crops with 90% less land and 70% less water. A single warehouse can feed an entire city block. It's efficiency at its peak, but it also centralizes food production into the hands of whoever owns the tech infrastructure. Meanwhile, in sterile labs across the globe, scientists are growing meat without animals. Lab-grown beef, chicken, even fish, all produced from a few cells. These synthetic proteins are disrupting animal agriculture and promising a cruelty-free, climate-friendly future. But they also raise an uncomfortable question: if food no longer grows, but is engineered, who becomes the farmer? The coder? The biologist? Or the corporation that owns the formula? As one food futurist said, food is no longer grown, it's engineered. That single sentence captures the transformation of an entire civilization. This isn't science fiction. It's happening now, a technological gold rush where every invention brings us closer to a future of abundance, or absolute control. The tools that can end hunger might also redefine freedom itself. This is where the $10 billion race turns personal, the people who grow our food versus those who code it. On one side, big tech, building algorithms that predict what to plant, when to harvest, and how much food the world needs. On the other side, farmers, people whose knowledge of the soil comes from generations of lived experience. In India, a quiet rebellion is already unfolding. Traditional farmers are pushing back against digital agriculture systems that set crop prices using AI models they don't understand or trust. Imagine planting your crops, only to have an algorithm thousands of miles away decide their worth. For many farmers, that's not innovation. It's a takeover. They say the land feeds the people, but now, it's the data feeding the profits. In San Francisco and Seattle, tech giants are racing to digitize agriculture, using satellites, IoT sensors, and predictive analytics. Their pitch is simple: let AI optimize the planet's food supply. But for the farmers who've spent their lives reading the sky, the soil, and the seasons, that promise sounds more like a threat. Because when machines start making decisions about when to plant or what to grow, farmers lose the one thing they've always had: control over their own harvest. Across Europe, South America, and Africa, protests are growing. Farmers are calling out what they see as tech monopolies, where the tools meant to help them now dictate every move they make. From digital seeds that can't be replanted, to AI systems charging subscription fees just to access their own farm data. This isn't just about crops. It's about economic inequality, a world where those who grow the food are slowly becoming employees of the data systems that manage it. And so, a new kind of conflict emerges, not fought with weapons, but with algorithms. A war between tradition and technology, where the soul of farming hangs in the balance. Because in the race to control the future of food, the real question isn't who's winning, it's who's being left behind. Every seed planted, every drop of water used, every shipment of grain tracked by algorithms. The future of food isn't just about what we grow, it's about who controls the data behind it. And that's where this race turns dark. Across the globe, governments and corporations are using artificial intelligence to monitor, predict, and even regulate food supply chains. On paper, it sounds efficient, a smart system to prevent shortages and waste. But beneath the surface, a new power structure is forming. When food becomes data, whoever controls the data, controls the food. Imagine this: a small farmer in Kenya uses a free smart farming app to track rainfall and soil moisture. But that same app is silently collecting every detail: yield, seed type, fertilizer usage, and sending it to corporate servers thousands of miles away. The farmer owns the land, but the algorithm owns the information. That's not agriculture. That's digital colonization. Foreign corporations are now holding the keys to Africa's food data. They know what's being planted, how much is being harvested, and even when local markets are likely to crash. It's a level of control that no empire in history ever had, and it's being built, one algorithm at a time. Data ownership has become the new battlefield of agriculture. Should farmers have rights over their own digital footprints, or should that data belong to the companies providing the tech? The answer will define who eats and who profits in the next century. And here's the irony: AI was meant to create food security. But in the wrong hands, it could do the opposite, restricting access, manipulating prices, or even destabilizing entire regions. Think about it: if one corporation can predict and influence global food production, what happens to local independence? What happens when nations rely on algorithms they don't control? It's not just a technological risk. It's a geopolitical weapon: food as leverage, data as currency. This is no longer about efficiency. It's about control, quiet, data-driven control over humanity's most basic need: to eat. In the $10 billion race to control the future of food, the most powerful weapon isn't land or water, it's information. And whoever holds it, holds us all. The battle for the future of food isn't just being fought in labs or on farms, it's being fought between nations. Welcome to the new global power struggle, where the plate replaces the pipeline, and food becomes the new oil. In China, vertical farming is no longer an experiment, it's a megaproject. Entire skyscrapers now serve as climate-controlled food factories, powered by AI and robotics. With limited arable land, China's goal is simple: food independence through technology. And it's working. The same nation that once imported grain is now exporting AI-driven farming systems across Africa and Southeast Asia, quietly building influence, one seed algorithm at a time. In the United States, the race takes a different shape. Silicon Valley is merging with the Corn Belt. From lab-grown meat startups to predictive climate farming, America's biotech boom is redefining agriculture and protecting its food dominance in a warming world. But beneath the innovation lies a warning: whoever patents the next generation of seeds and farming AIs could control global food access. It's no longer just about farming, it's about intellectual property, patents, and economic leverage. Meanwhile, Europe is playing the long game, focusing on regulation, ethics, and sustainability. The EU's Green Deal demands transparency and carbon-neutral farming, setting the global standard. But it also means Europe controls who gets to sell, and who doesn't, in the future food market. 3 powers. 3 strategies. 1 battlefield, the dinner plate. And behind it all, a silent weapon is emerging: algorithms that decide what's grown, who eats, and at what cost. As one analyst warned, the next war won't be over oil, it'll be over food algorithms. The geopolitics of food is no longer about land or labor. It's about data, dominance, and digital control, and the stakes couldn't be higher. In a world where billion-dollar giants are battling for control of our food, a quieter revolution is happening, one built not on greed, but on growth, not on patents, but on purpose. Across rural villages in Africa and Asia, small AI-driven platforms are empowering farmers, not replacing them. Imagine an app that scans a leaf, detects a disease, and tells a farmer exactly how to treat it, all without costly subscriptions or corporate strings attached. These aren't billion-dollar corporations. They're local innovators using data to feed communities, not to dominate them. Startups like FarmBot, AgroIntellect, and EarthSense AI are redefining what progress looks like. They merge artificial intelligence with sustainability, using drones, sensors, and predictive analytics to help small farms thrive in unpredictable climates. They're proving that technology doesn't have to control the soil, it can understand it. And while corporations guard their data behind paywalls, a new wave of open-source farming AI is emerging. These are systems built by the people, for the people, where any farmer, student, or scientist can improve algorithms that help grow real food, sustainably. It's a digital commons for agriculture, the opposite of monopoly. Because the future of food shouldn't belong to a few servers in Silicon Valley, it should belong to everyone who eats. And then, there are voices bringing awareness to millions: creators, educators, and storytellers. Platforms like Agriverse are breaking down complex topics, inspiring a new generation to ask the right questions. What are we eating? Who's controlling it? And how can we change that? In this $10 billion race, not every player runs for profit. Some are running for the planet, and for the future of our food. For thousands of years, seeds were symbols of life and freedom. But today, those same seeds are intellectual property. Digital seeds, patented and encoded, mean that a single company could decide what grows, and what doesn't. If you're a farmer, you no longer just plant crops, you're licensing algorithms. Corporations say this is the future, efficient, optimized, sustainable. But economists warn it's a slippery slope. When a few entities control the code behind our crops, food becomes a commodity of power, not survival. And the moral dilemma is simple but terrifying. Can we trust corporations and AI systems to feed humanity, or should humanity reclaim control of the table? Think about it, seeds are life. They determine what nations eat, what families can grow, and ultimately, who thrives and who hungers. So, as we rush toward an AI-powered food future worth over $10 billion, we must ask ourselves, will this technology feed the world, or own it? So, where does all this lead? We've seen the battles, big tech, farmers, governments, all racing for control. But the truth is, the future of food is still being written. And what's at stake is nothing less than how humanity survives the next century. In the best case, artificial intelligence and innovation could democratize food. Imagine a world where no child goes hungry, where precision farming reduces waste, and blockchain ensures every grain can be traced transparently from soil to plate. Where farmers own their data, and technology becomes a partner, not a master. But there's another path. One where megacorporations dominate every seed, every algorithm, every bite. A world where efficiency replaces empathy, and food becomes just another asset in a trillion-dollar data economy. If that happens, we won't just lose farms. We'll lose the freedom to feed ourselves. The question isn't just technological, it's moral. Can we design systems that nourish both people and planet? Can we use blockchain for transparency, not secrecy? Can we ensure that the $10 billion race to control food becomes a race to protect it? And maybe, just maybe, the real revolution won't be in how we grow food, but in how we choose to share it. The race to control food isn't just about profit. It's about survival. Because whoever controls the seeds, the data, and the distribution, controls life itself. So the real question isn't who will win this $10 billion race. It's what will be left for the rest of us when it's over. Should AI control what we eat, or should humanity take back the plate? Comment your thoughts below, your voice might just shape the future. And if you care about food, technology, and the fate of our planet, hit that subscribe button.